watch Chongqing Major and support your favorite team.
The more information you have, the better the decisions. Data is crucial to do important decisions in Dota games and even before the Dota game in preparation. It's really cool that a big company like SAP is investing into esports, and that I can be a part of it is amazing.
China's last hope here at the Major, going to start off by taking a lead against Fnatic.LGD. Looking to do this one in style. And Nahaz, I want to start with you because I saw you actually tweeted out after the draft. You noticed a few things about what you saw with Fnatic. You started to maybe reassess that draft a little bit.
Well, the big thing is on these panels that we often don't get a lot of time to talk about the fifth picks. And the biggest thing I forgot on that segment is that in 720, they changed it so that Lone Druids, Bears, and Tangle no longer pierces spell immunity. So you look at the entire Fnatic lineup, the only thing that pierces spell immunity is Vendetta from your 5-position Nyx Assassin. It's just not how you play against LGD.
Yeah, we started talking about that with LGD, a team that typically is known for their BKB timings. And as we get into the highlights, we're going to see that pretty quickly. But, you know, I do want to start by letting Nahaz talk a little bit more about wards.
Okay, let's just have a Nahaz talk show.
Yeah, well, I'm letting
all right, look at that ward on the minimap, that ward above the dire top jungle shrine. That spotted the reload coming in, enabled Fnatic's, all 5 of their heroes retreat. They're able to reset this fight. They end up able to take this fight and force LGD to retreat. And it actually spots Gyro TPing in. Look at Gyro TPing in from the shrine on the backside because of the ward. They know that's coming. That's pink. He's being pinged, and they're going to convert the kill on the Gyro on the back end. I told you coming into the series, look, wards they're not sexy. We often don't talk about them on panels, but LGD's vision game is what got them to the grand finals of TI. Fnatic got 3 D wards in the first 10 minutes of this game. They were ready for that aspect
this
of
is
LGD.
where they kind of through the fight. After that Astral, you're giving your opponent 4 seconds to react, and you're fighting near the shrine and tier 2 tower. Of course, there's going to be some TP reaction. This fight was pretty chaotic. Like, what's happening in this one?
We talked about how LGD's signature since Epicenter last year has been fighting so well around those BKB timings. Uncharacteristically in this game, LGD make 2 major errors right after they complete their BKBs. The first is taking this fight on top of the Radiant top jungle shrine. This is statistically the most dangerous part of the map for Dire to fight, largely because the disengages are so difficult. MP had also just completed his Desolator on the Lone Druid, and here Ame.
Yeah, you don't pop a BKB. Like, your team was ready to fight. You had the 2 9-second BKBs ready. Even though LGD did not have the best catch and control, they only had Earth Spirit casting his spells with the roll. That's basically their only stun besides Gyrocopter Rocket, and it's not reliable. And this is so uncharacteristic of LGD. They still have 1 lane to take, and they decide to dive the fountain. They thought the game was over, but it kind of backfires. I did not see a good OD ulti in this game.
But so that's entirely true, and I agree with that point 100%. I would argue, though, it's freaking impossible. You have to play around 2 BKBs and Doom. Like, literally, how many engagements? There was 1 time that Fnatic almost got a clean initiation on Chalice near the tier 1 mid tower, and he had a really sick blink to get out of it. The rest of the engagements, Fnatic tries to engage, LGD pops their BKBs, and Fnatic just runs away, and Abed knows that he is going to get doomed the minute he is in Chalice's vision, so he has to pop those Eclipses early. It's an impossible OD game.
Maybe played so well, even though his early game was not that good considering the rotations coming out from Nyx Assassin, but he was on top of net worth chart. Razor is not a hero that has that problem anymore, that can't farm even if he's not having an easy time early on.
Now, I do want to say as well, Nahaz, I saw in that tweet that you said 3-1. 3-1 is what you thought the draft actually did look like in favor, obviously, of LGD. How do we remedy this when we get back into our second game? How do we see Fnatic put up a fight?
Oh, I mean, they put up a fight. They put up so much more of a fight than I thought they would. They have scouted LGD, and a couple people actually mentioned to me that LGD's ward placements in this tournament were pretty consistent game to game. Fnatic has obviously scouted that. Give yourself a draft that can deal with BKBs. Fnatic played well enough that with the right draft, they win that game.
I think they could have closed the game maybe earlier on Fnatic's side because DJ was so farmed on this Grimstroke, Etherlands, what else? Glimmer Cape and Hex around 30-minute mark. The problem was once he got this Hex, he was in a really bad position and he just died. He didn't get his spells off. 2 Hexes. This could have been actually changed the fight and maybe even second Roche.
But again, it's just you have so little counterplay to BKB other than getting the jump off on those BKB carriers, and a team like LGD, part of why they're so good about playing with the BKBs is protecting the BKB carrier's ability to use that item.
LGD itemized so well. You have Gyro. His first item was Maelstrom. He figured it out that he needs to be the most farmed hero on the map. He did not go for SNY because he did not need it at that part. So he was just continuing to farm up. Second item, BKB, so they can fight because they have nothing that goes through the BKB. Same goes for Razor. Shiva's Guard on Razor. They want to use it for the vision in-game so Doom can initiate, get that Doom on OD. That's the target that he wants to go for.
Yeah, the Maelstrom on Gyro is also because he knows that his Wisp is leveling really well in that game. He's going to get that level 15 talent, and you're going to get all those free shots from the Maelstrom. And I mean, LGD, that's the thing. They made 2 mistakes in this game that are so uncharacteristic of them. And because of the draft, they still won.
Yeah, and we're talking about items. Again, 2 Lincoln Spheres. Against the Grimstroke, ulti, double Hex. Sven can't initiate, he can't blink in and stun. You want to get those juicy targets, either Razor or Gyro, but he just couldn't get on top of them. And you're forcing OD to buy a Lincoln Sphere, the item that he does not want to go for. Wow. And then 2 cores are building into Butterfly, and if this game drags, you still need more time to actually get an MKB. Doom has Heaven's Halberd. You don't have anything that pierces through evasion.
Those were tremendous points because I think it shows, again, LGD had this in the late game, regardless of how late the stretch on. Their itemization decisions were such that their heroes were going to counter what Fnatic was trying to do almost indefinitely.
Yeah, draft definitely strong for LGD, but it's funny, when we talk about LGD and this draft, one of the things that we did mention was the idea that there was such a good chance for them to actually research their opponents. They could actually start to research their opponents, but it seems like it was Fnatic who's looking up everything with the ward placement.
Are you winking at him again?
He's winking at everybody. I thought I was special. I thought I was special. Hey, everybody.
Love you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. What was
I don't remember.
I don't know.
No, I was just saying it does seem like we really did see Fnatic do their homework. They thought about what they wanted to do against LGD. We look at the wards, but it looks like it did go a little bit further than that, but they need to find something in the next draft to actually get a win condition.
It's not that hard an adjustment, and we know this team has a broad hero pool. We know that they have role flexibility like they were able. It was a big gamble in that game that paid off, moving Ice to the Sven. That hard 5-position Nyx Assassin, if Jabs doesn't participate in those 2 early kills on Razor, he is under-leveled and does nothing in that game.
And Ice is one of those players that we talk about that does add that depth to the hero pool as well.
I mean, they did not ban out Ice in the second ban stage, which we usually see, and he was kind of struggling with the items. He didn't know what he wants to go for. First, there was a Force Staff to get rid of the Static Link against the Razor, then decided to go for a Blink because they lacked initiation. You can't really rely on Nyx Assassin to do the job. Then a Pipe kind of needed to mitigate all the magical damage coming out from the enemy team. Kind of hard to itemize, and I think this could be the first time that we saw Aghanim Scepter on him. It looks good on the paper, but 4,000 gold.
Yeah,
they lack damage, so I can see why he would decided to go for it.
Yeah, I think they recognize that they may have needed a little bit more structure damage, but It's just tough. It's a very tough game when you have nothing to counterplay LGD's BKBs.
Going back to the draft, though, too, it's easy to look just at the outcome, but it was so interesting how the last draft actually went. The order of events was pretty unique, especially when we did see the IO get through. The way that we see the gyro get through is interesting. The actual bans are interesting as well. So now we're going to get started the draft for our second game. Curious to see how it goes. Already underway here, and that IO going to get banned out this time around.
And Tusk being first ban, no surprise there. They have such a high win rate with the hero.
It's Fnatic that are going to have first pick this time. Okay. Did they have first pick in the last game? Overall?
No. LGD went to IO first pick.
I'm sorry. Senior moment. Senior moment.
I'm having a few of those, too. And
okay, so obviously the Earth Spirit and the Lich are the two heroes that... well, Tusk's already gone, that you think hard about banning here.
All right.
Also the Elder Titan, of course, and already off, and the Grimstroke. So Fnatic is going to go ahead and take what's been really a first phase comfort.
What are you guys laughing at?
No, absolutely nothing. A certain Dota personality is definitely not beside the TV flashing a picture of James. Anyway.
We need order on this desk.
Certainly didn't happen.
We need order on this desk. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It didn't happen.
Lacoste, this is your turn to say something intelligent.
I can't right now. Yeah, let's focus on the draft. Grimstroke is out.
I feel like every time I ask you to do that. That's why I was asking Nahaz so many questions earlier.
Yeah, Lich is still in the pool. Also, Earth Spirit, one of the top picks here as well.
Shadow Shaman went untouched in the last draft, too.
Actually, did it? Yeah,
I think so.
It's really interesting. Now we're at, what, 8 new heroes in 2 days?
Yeah.
We talk about that meta developing. We're definitely seeing it before our eyes.
And some of and that's the thing, some of the heroes, like Winter Wyvern, that had been garbo in this patch, actually looked playable.
Yeah, there were a few moments when we said, is this absolute garbanzo beans? And it ends up being a full-course meal.
That's how to start yourself off, though, with the DJ Earth Spirit. If you talk about a player on Fnatic that could be playing right now on basically any team in the world, it is DJ. This guy, like, I mean, he could have gone to all but about 2 or 3 teams after this TI and said, hey, I want to play for you. And
I want to play Earth Spirit for you.
Yeah, I want to play for you. You're going to pick me only Earth Spirit. Sounds good.
It feels like in this meta, if you pick Earth Spirit first pick, things can't go wrong. It doesn't reveal anything. The hero is just that strong, brings so much to the table. On side of LGD, look at the physical damage mitigation. Lich's armor, Sven's Warcry.
Literally no damage. Yeah, and this is where you start to wonder, is Fnatic going to take a cue from some of those games yesterday? We've already seen a lot of teams, most notably Secret with the Slark pick, try and combo these like aura stack max sustain drafts. Wow, they're confident in it, man.
No, I mean, I don't think we saw that many ODs being picked in the first phase, but it still feels like the hero, you can get away with it. I think they need to ban out. They could ban out Medusa against OD.
It's so weird to me, though. I mean, generally,
right,
yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna say you got to get rid of the Doom with an OD. Generally, if I have OD against Medusa, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's still a decent matchup for Medusa. Doesn't necessarily counter her. Yes, if you think about it, OD steals intelligence from Medusa, blah blah blah. But there are other 4 heroes playing the game.
I tell you, the thing I'm most surprised about is that Fnatic have picked OD early in a number of these drafts, and I think it's always been mid for them. Like, I was convinced that if you saw Fnatic stack OD picks, that they would at least once or twice rotate it into the safe lane, because MP has played that hero safe lane in the past.
I do want to ask, throughout the course of the CQ Major, we've seen quite a few ODs now, more and more, get locked in the first phase. What's the reason that we started to see that, Nahaz?
Okay, all right.
Go ahead, Lacoste. No,
Budget Nahaz coming through.
I asked Nahaz, man. We'll let you have this one, Lacoste.
The hero brings so much stuff, like just burning the mana even before the fight starts, or just blowing up someone, save potential. He can build into a ton of different items. Even if he does not have a good laning stage, he can come back with the new orb mechanic.
Yeah.
And he counters so many of these strength heroes, and Fnatic picked OD, which means that Ice Ice could play a Timbersaw, so it blocks the pick again. They need to spend another ban on Timber.
Very nice. Now, the only things I'd add to that are, number one, a point that we made about Slark last night, and that's that Slark and OD both, because of these ability steal mechanics, love these long engagements. They love to play against these aura stack, beefy strats where they're building up stats throughout the fight with their orb or with essence shift. And the other thing is the very simple observation that the mid hero pool right now is just kind of a mess. It's kind of very condensed. A lot of teams still searching for answers. You know, we see EG going with Death Prophet with the 5th pick in their last match. We see a bunch of Tinker picks that haven't really worked out. And OD is one of the few stable mids at this tournament.
And we have started to see more and more of OD because of it. Now we're starting to get those final bans in here.
Like the Timber ban, like Lacoste said.
That goes back to Ice, right?
Centaur's still in the pool.
Centaur's still in the pool.
Yeah,
I still like Darkseer Earth Spirit. It's an oldie but a goodie. But you got it, man. You BKB breaker.
PSG.LGD's.
All right, so that's another good ban coming up from LGD, considering that there's OD on side of Fnatic, and Doom is out, so not too many ways to counter Tidehunter. He just loves to run in. OD loves those kinds of heroes, just a free intelligence for him.
Yep. I tell you what, too, is there any player you can think of that has tanked more bans than Ice?
No.
It's ridiculous how many bans he draws in pro matches.
Now, Lacoste, I haven't asked you a question yet on this panel. How do you like the Magnus here?
Yeah. You didn't even have a question prepared. You were just going with the flow. And Shadow Shaman. I like this hero.
I thought they would go back to it, but again, I like the Magnus too as a deny pick. Because again, it's one less BKB breaker off the table for Fnatic to pick up.
Fnatic's lineup looking solid even with these 3 picks. So much team fight potential.
So do you pick your mid here and save the like PA jug for 5th, or do you just pick your Magnus partner here?
It feels like a decent jug game.
I was gonna say jug.
I mean, you, against the Shadow Shaman, Earth Spirit, like you need to have something that can spin off.
Good call.
Great call. No, for the love of God, please pick
Not
something that goes through spell immunity.
Not the best though. If you think about Jug Omni Slash, Earth Spirit can roll out OD with the Astral. Can save a lot of damage coming up from that Omni.
So what for Fnatic right now, Lacoste, would actually give what Nahas is looking for to get through that spell immunity, because LGD was able to use those BKBs so efficiently in the last game, but also
they could get the... Alright, so it's a Brewmaster. I was thinking something else.
I mean, there's your offlaner, but again, look, Fnatic, if their plan coming into this series was, we're going to play super clean early, our vision game's going to be on point, we're going to execute, and we think we can win just based on execution around their BKB timings, I think Fnatic has the talent to make that work against all but a handful of teams in the world. Unfortunately, LGD is at the top of that handful.
Fnatic's lineup is really chaotic. If they pop the Primal Split, Rasta Wards, Earth Spirit rolling in, I don't think OD is going to have problem dealing damage in this game, what he had in the previous one. And I can understand why they picked Brewmaster. The spell against Lich's Armor and Sven's Warcry, it's really good.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
You do have that purge. That team, though? How do you round it out, Lacoste? What is the last thing that Fnatic does need?
Oh. Okay, Jug against Faceless Void, even though they don't have the best Faceless Void game. Only one who can deal damage in Chrono would be OD, but they were just afraid that about that Jug's spin TP BKB canceling ability.
Right, you see so many drafts where a team gets boxed in to picking Faceless Void because you need a hard carry last, and Faceless Void is one of the few hard carries with a dedicated BKB breaking ability. Now Fnatic have some options here that are good head-to-head against Jug if you can get there. I mean, we've talked about the fact that Jug in the later stages of the game has problems playing against like a Phantom Assassin. But again, it's getting there. I like Lacosse's point that they don't necessarily have the same kind of dedicated OD counter in a Doom, but I think OD's going to have a hard time standing on his RPs.
Wagner is still in the pool. LGD has a really strong lanes, in my opinion. They just need a bit of tower damage, something that can pressure, and there it is.
I mean, what about TB? Do you just try and outdid just your BKB breaker is just straight damage?
No matter what physical damage dealer they pick, it's going to be so tough to fight into. Again, Warcry, Lich's armor, and if you pick an illusion carry, you have double cleave, triple cleave, basically.
Just racking my brain at this point, man.
5 seconds remaining.
They have plenty of reserve time, though, too, if they need to rack their brains.
I mean, you know what? I think at this point you might just go back to a comfort hero like a Weaver for MP. Just something that he feels good on.
They really don't have any kind of a lockdown for Weaver. It's a free Weaver game if they want to go for it.
Free for Weaver.
I think that's probably the best pick here, honestly.
What's the downside for going for the Weaver?
Again, you have no BKB breaker other than just straight physical damage. Okay, they'll go Razor. Just try to. All right, I can get behind this. They're going to go Razor. They're going to try to just dominate the laning phase of this game and take LGD out of it essentially before those timings come online. But again, Jug, not a hero that you can out-time like that in the same way.
Okay.
Davai Sniper, let's go. Even though they have a couple of
Sniper's a sick call, actually.
Gap closers in Earth Spirit and Brewmaster once he gets a Blink Dagger, but it's a good Razor pick, though. I like it against the 2 melee cores, Sven and Juggernaut. They definitely need a range hero as a last pick.
I think the Razor is very, very all-in-y.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right, so
they
needed something.
Number 9.
Number 9, there we go.
That can blink away from all this stuff, even though it's not the greatest matchup.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the man who feels confident in his Queen of Pain pick. He's one of the, again, the hero has struggled mightily over the last couple of metas, but, you know, maybe along with CTY, some of the best Queen of Pain players in the world.
SCCC.
SCCC, absolutely.
You can hear the crowd getting excited there, too. Last game, one of the first times that we really did start to hear them get excited. So when we look at the draft all in all, Fnatic, laning phase, crucial again, but now in a very different way. Was that a 2-0?
Yeah, I think Fnatic, Abed's going to have a better game on OD this match, but I don't think they can play with LGD as the game goes on.
So Lacoste, right now, I want to hear not who you think is going to win, but if Fnatic's going to win, how are they going to do it?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
You know what? I'll bail you out.
All right.
Casters, how on earth are Fnatic going to get themselves out of this one, or is it going to be a 2-0?
See, look at that panel. They're taking away what could be a really hype, close series and just saying, LGD, they're so far ahead. At the same time, we're kind of getting it from this guy as well. You like LGDs a lot.
Yeah, this is I had a rule for a while, always pick against Quap, but this is one of those scenarios where it looks great. Highest agility gain of any anti-hero, so you don't mind being empowered. You're the 22 pick, you have great lane matchups against anything that Fnatic puts up against you, and you're not really, you don't need to do anything to win your team the game. You're not the win condition. You have the building damage, you have the Jug, you have a Sven. All you got to do is be that +1, that TP around, you can gank, you can itemize for whatever you want. Yep. It's a nice game for maybe, and
it definitely does feel that way. At the same time, I'm liking what Fnatic have got. They've got 2 of the most successful supports so far: the Earth Spirit plus the Shaman together. OD, a little bit of time to beef up. Juggernaut, not normally one of those like big BKB builders. Hello, Smoke Gank. Anyone want to go up the hill? I don't think so. Not underneath the tier 1 tower. And Fnatic are all here as well, ready to fight. But it's this other hero, it's the Ice Brewmaster, the Chaos Controller, if LGD don't get this initial pop-off with the RP.
The concern is you have a Jug with Empower, and there's no cancel for Spin TP. Brew also pretty ineffective against the Queen of Pain that can just blink away. It's very easy for LGD to just disengage once that big ult cooldown comes off. And the other concern I have about the Razor pick into the Mag Jug is that while traditionally it's a great counter pick, you get the link off through Spin, you can now deal with this Juggernaut.
Yeah.
The Mag denies your BKB timing. There's no way for you to itemize to keep yourself safe, and at any moment, if you get RP'd and then there's an Omni Slash, you're going to die just like any other hero would.
Yeah, I feel your concern, man. I feel your concern.
It's the same with the OD. Yeah, you ban the Doom, but they still have answers to the BKB timing of Fnatic. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to play fast. You need a huge performance from Jabs on this Earth Spirit.
Well, let's watch and see if it's possible. Jabs is already invading the Radiant side. No deep Observer Ward down from him. Instead, they have one watching further towards the Radiant Shrine on the south. And they're holding their other ward for now. So Bounty Runes, perfectly split. No contest there. Running Razor in the off lane. So they put the OD against the Queen of Pain in mid. Of course, as you said before, like Queen of Pain loves any kind of matchup. And then in towards mid, rolling boulder forward. Queen of Pain is going to be a big hero. Jabs is going to be all over her. But this top lane is a bit rough for Ice. The Lich is just zoning him away from the Juggernaut. But this allows the Razor to have his matchup against Ven and Magnus.
Definitely fine with this if you're MP. You love being against two melee mid. He tried to roll forward. I think he might have assumed that maybe he was going to salve. Does do a bit of harass. Doesn't tank tower, so loses nothing.
He messed him up while there was like a full creep wave underneath the tower. So Queen of Pain only got one last hit for that creep wave. So it's more of a distraction thing than anything else.
Ice is susceptible to dying up top. It's a tough lane for him because as soon as Jug hits level 3, you have a Lich. Like, there's just so much damage. You can spin while you're frost shielding. It's just so easy to kill a Brew.
OD Imprisonment, rolling boulder forward, and Queen of Pain, because you still have ES not at level 2, doesn't have the rocks available just yet. They will need that silence and stun to control the Queen of Pain.
It's going to be necessary for this Fnatic support duo. Like, both were originally 4s. Jabs, of course, switching to 5 so that he could also captain this team and really cement their all-star status. They both need to go off this game because outside of those two, Fnatic doesn't really have lockdown. Sure, you can Astral, you can throw someone up in the air, but it's not enough to find kills on these evasive, elusive heroes like Quap and Jug.
Static Link from MP is going on bottom, trying to force out the lane once more. Blink forward, ES in way too deep. It's a haste rune for Magnus. This one's giving him the movement speed to get over to Jabs. Rolling boulder takes way too long to come off cooldown. He's going for the Ancients to attemptedly deny himself, but it will not happen. It's a lot of pressure being applied to mid, however. That's why I'm wondering if this is even worth it, because OD is still farming up.
Yeah,
and they go again. Another imprisonment in mid. Rolling boulder forward, force the blink away, and keep the CS. It's a 1-3 Queen of Pain versus a 12-9 OD.
This is really well done by Jabs. And if you give OD this multiple null advantage, you start to dominate the Quap. And, you know, the downside of this hero, I like the pick. Hate the hero sometimes because if you don't snowball, if you don't have a good start, I said he would have a great laning matchup no matter what. 2 versus 1's not fair, Toby.
It really isn't. And you don't want to drag Lich off. Rolling boulder forward. This time he's got rocks, so they got the silence available. Queen of Pain, low on life. A Fairy Fire will keep her alive. One more attack. No orb buff up from Arbed. TP support's coming in. A blink forward under the cover of the south. He's regenning while finding the kill on Jabs. A second kill, but once again, FY dragged off the lane. But at least this time, maybe can get some CS underneath the tower. You hope.
Yeah. Bottom, both offlaners, as we've seen so many times in this patch, like suffering. But Chal is definitely having the better time. 11 CS up top. It's just the kill threat. Razor, Rasta, yeah, you could take out the spend, but you need more levels. As soon as you hit level 2 on Lich, the Brewmaster, you have a real hard time just laning at all because you die to anything. You get caught, you're just dead.
Well, I'd say Size is currently just like catching up with Roshan. He invites Muru for tea and coffee and just says, hey, what are we going to do? Lich rotates in and then you can get the stun. He's waiting for the 4-minute room, but it's going to be on bottom and an illusion for Shaman. Not exactly what they were searching for, while Brewmaster runs up the hill. Skewer's going to miss. which means they don't get the combination with the slow from Frost Shield. Nice Ice taunts his way around, while mid lane, rolling boulder forward. The orb missing uphill from Abed. He kind of has to walk up that hill if he wants to get the damage in, but you know Queen of Pain will just blink away to safety, but not before she gives an extra couple of attacks in for the OD.
Almost enough damage to take him out.
He's so low on life. It's 4-3 CS on this Queen of Pain. I know you're at least getting the experience, but now imprisonment up with the creep wave under the tower. They want a rolling boulder. That's too early. Against the Magnus, jabbed in too deep, so Skewer has asked the TP under the tower. Damage, it will be enough with a scream. Something to get back while up on top. The spin is happening. DJ on the run back underneath this tower. He's got shackles available, and he will be able to survive. Ice was dragging the creep wave as well, so they're both going to drag it and then find the 5-minute bounty runes. He won't find the other. Magnus is already on his way. All right, never say never with Ice.
Yeah. The thing about Jug, if you notice, the games where he looks dominant, it almost always starts with a crushing lane performance. And a question, they late picked this Brewmaster. Juggernaut, it's just not threatened. And it's a free game for Ame, who...
Is that TP support for this? They fortify into the Radiant Creep Wave, stays alive. Ame, FY, and X-Nova, they'll skewer him back up. DJ, he knows he's in a world of hurt. He's going to eat the shock in 1 second. Still too long. As Ice, like 3 heroes don't care. Pulling the wave, keeping the tier 1 tower alive.
And more importantly, getting that catapult killed, thus preventing, a full probably 400, 500 extra damage and giving him some very necessary XP. If he gets split, he will be able to be effective no matter how much net worth he has. But bottom, Chalice, he's keeping pace almost with the MP Razor.
There's the rotation. Queen of Pain brings in the extra damage. Razor with 1 charge gets a little bit more life. Shaman wants to create space. Nice. She denies. Up MP. There at the right time, and that's the downside about Shadow Strike. Queen of Pain can't make anything in the mid and then kind of make things worse on the bottom.
Yep.
Even without his damage, though, they wouldn't have had the opportunity.
Yeah, it's a good rotation. This is something we used to see all the time when Quap was in the meta. There are times, you're up against like a Viper, as an example, the old school counter pick. You just have to start rotating, and that's what you can do, but you get denied out, and all of a sudden it's just a squandered rotation.
They're going up on top, spin, TP, that's a good Sinister Gaze, cancelling Ice's TP, and giving Ame his kill he's looking for while on bottom lane. The pressure continues. Chalice, the one who was actually the lowest CSer of all, actually not the lowest. Queen of Pain is the lowest.
Yeah.
But still, being shut out of the farm. It feels like Fnatic are still doing very well in 2 out of 3 of their lanes, but you're right, the Juggernaut is off to a big start. Number 1, the net worth, 3.6k to the 3.3k of OD.
Yeah, and the concern with that is he's the win condition. He is the one, Ame, that will inevitably give PSG.LGD the win if they're able to pull this out.
They found jabs. He doesn't want a rolling boulder in front of the potential stun from Charles, which is now there. He'll war cry up, skewer him away, and now jabs. He can potentially just get away, but they body block him out, and Sinister Gaze. 4 heroes from LGD move towards the mid lane, and it gives Queen of Pain her 2nd kill.
Yeah. Well played. Really, both teams making effective rotations, both dominating the respective off lanes. Obviously, Abed with that big lead mid, but the sacrifice is that the support duo, specifically FY's Magnus, is off to a really good start. Whenever you have an Arcane Boot this early on your 4 mag, you feel good, because he'll always have the ability now to maintain his own place in the game. He can handle waves for you, be that empower bot, no problem.
Yes, is looking for his own fight. OD moving down the river towards the regeneration rune. Lich is already sitting here, jabs. What's he going to do? He's just going to steal the regeneration rune, but there's trouble for Abed. He's currently stuck in the corner with no way out. It's a 3-man silence from jabs, but there's nothing more he could do from the OD when he walks down that narrow path without a maneuverability.
Yeah, really impressive performance from the LGD supports. Like, you would not think on paper that Lich Mag would be more effective with these early game rotations than the duo of Fnatic, but part of that is capitalizing on perhaps a bit of over-aggression from jabs. He's 0-4-2. He's tried to make things happen, but the FY is just always there to punish him.
Razor's still getting some really good farm up on bottom lane. I'm interested to see just how tanky he can be and how much of a presence he can be in the fights.
The concern I have is that this is a different kind of game. Well, same script though. PSG.LGD, they want fast fights. They have the burst damage. They have the initiation advantage. And they have the ability to just strike without warning and immediately find kills on course. Fnatic, you need more time.
It's LGD initiating, and DJ needs to create a little bit of extra space because Jabs is going to about rolling boulder into the middle of this fight, but the Sonic Wave already connects now. Jabs is in way too deep, begins its own TP. There's no stuns to cancel it. Sinister Gaze was on cooldown, so was the Stormbolt. And Fnatic just a second too late. There was the Observer Ward from LGD that knew their timing window.
And this is the benefit of the LGD lineup. Up top, Jug can be alone and self-sufficient. You can't kill him. Bottom, it doesn't matter how far ahead MP gets, these rotations will always be able to find kills just because of the nature of these heroes' different kits.
And Queen of Pain's working her way back into the net worth. Yeah, she's still 1,000 behind the OD, but being involved in these kills, 3-1-3.
But this isn't a game where you feel like maybe he's got a lot of pressure on him to perform.
Jump
it's
forward.
Okay to be a bit behind.
Sorry, not going to come. I thought I would see a rolling boulder in from the ES. I thought wrong.
3 heroes from Fnatic moving towards the bottom side. And
Maybe the stun of the Chalice. That's the way to do it. And the slow will be out. DJ ready to reply with a shackle, but he's still out of range.
They want to get involved now. You have split ready. Ice 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 wants to use it. They want to force a fight, but you can see PSG.LGD, they're not going to give this away for free. And by that I mean they won't take this fight unprompted. They'll let the tower go and just rotate towards top. FY going to link up with Ame. Here you go, buddy. Take some cleave and some DPS.
And it's a catapult wave as well, so they will push very, very quickly. A tier 1 for a tier 1 tower, but it looks like it'll be done a lot faster by LGD.
You're going to be scared. Like we saw yesterday, Vici also utilizing the Jug versus the OD. That was without the Magnus. It's just one of those combinations. You know, I'm sure everyone's sick of Terrorblade, but for a while, it felt like Mag was just in every single game if it wasn't banned. And
yeah,
this may serve as a reminder why. Just Ame looking like he's 2,000 net worth ahead. It's 11 minutes into the game.
At least with Terrorblade, at least with Juggernaut, I don't lose my FPS.
True.
So I'm okay with that. This Juggernaut, as you said, he is rapidly approaching godlike status. They see Sven moving to the bottom lane, so Fnatic want to take this fight. Ice Ice Ice, he can just instantly go into the split if he wants to. Doesn't actually do it. Mass Open Ward's rolling bottom forward with the kick. Ice Ice Ice, the clap comes out. He'll go into split. He's got to be quick on the stun.
Oh!
No! That was an inch away from it.
I think he missed micro there. He went for the Storm Panda first. Might have been a bit of muscle memory. And the cast animation on Tornado is a bit longer than Hurl Boulder on the Earth. So they will get the tower, but both ults blown, and now your Jug top is really indestructible. And you have to be careful. I feel like you can't really contest this tower push, especially if FY gets 6, which I believe he will after this creep wave. And yeah, look at that. That's exponential growth right there. Not, well, you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Juggernaut through the roof. That's what you're talking about. Top lane, Razor will come to defend, and finally they're going to do something about the Juggernaut. Magnus is nearby, just with the shockwave pull around. He'll manage to separate the static link. But an SMY totally done. Blink forward, being revealed from Arbet. He jumped over the top of the Observer Ward, then into spin TP. Hey, what have you got to cancel it? No Beastmaster on the field, nothing to penetrate the Magic community.
I think the only way you can kill Jug in this game is you got to Astral him to open, and then Jabs has to land that perfect silence that hits him as he spawns out of the Astral. Otherwise, he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, you see him coming. The Observer Ward saw it all. He has no split available, and he will die underneath a Radiant Observer Ward. Maybe a lapse in concentration. They're pinging out. In fact, LGD already knew there was an Observer Ward there.
Yep.
They were ready to get rid of it.
And you can see, like, there's a ton of vision in the enemy jungle from Fnatic.
Keep your eyes on mid. One creep needs to die, and RP is available. Where's the TP support coming? They could have gone for it. Instead, they're focusing on objective. Bottom tier 1 tower.
Ame had already TP'd bottom. I think that might have been the only way they find that kill is with an immediate Omni Slash on top of the RP skewer. Not quite there, but you can look, like, this push, like, look at Fnatic's vision. How are you going to play on the enemy side of the map against this kind of lineup from LGD? It doesn't feel possible. You're going to get the tower trade, but you got to be afraid of a Mag Jug lineup, and you're not ahead. You don't have map control.
They're already rotating. Sven's trying to come up to try and like save this tier 1 tower. The Stormbolt goes on Shaman, and this just sets up. Welcome to Veil of Discord on the Queen of Pain. Such burst damage they have available. The tier 1 tower still went down to the Shaman ward, so Fnatic don't have that denied. So money's not so bad.
It's just easier for them to play around the map because Ame can always be showing. And it doesn't risk anything because he's never unsafe. They still can't kill him pushing alone on the side lanes, and his team is then free to make whatever moves they want around the map. He'll take a triple ancient stack, continuing to accelerate. So,
Meanwhile, Queen of Pain gets to just push in the side lanes.
Yeah. And I like the build so far from Maybe. I don't like the rush Orchid too much in a game you start behind. He opens with the Veil, may go for the Orchid next. Could consider going that full utility build Quap, but Silence is so good in a game you're playing against Brew, OD, these squishy supports. Like, if you can reliably jump roster or Earth Spirit every fight and find that initial kill, that's going to be huge for your team.
They see the Queen of Pain. Blink, forward,
here we go.
Disruption. Where's this done? Shaman's too far away. Here comes your Brewmaster, rolling ball forward. It's all up to the ES to keep the control, and they will bring down the Queen of Pain, and then move to the next target. War crying away, Chalice would just outrun MP. They just want to have that Blink Astral. No one's hanging around anymore, so Abed has to mop up the wave.
Fnatic playing aggressive. They're going to have roster wards in 10 more seconds. Could look to Roche, could look to push objectives here. But I'm so fearful for MP.
They may be okay with fighting. Then again, Blink RP just came up, but the Chain Frost was used to push the creep wave on the top lane. So Mass Serpent was committed. Blink into Imprisonment, maybe a little bit too far out, or maybe bait, rolling baller forward, over on the Sven. He's already got the War Cry up with the static link into Omnislash. They're going to try and tank it up between them all, into the Brewlings and into the creep wave. Juggernaut not getting what he wanted. A stolen 78 points of damage for Fnatic to try and bring down this tier 2 and then back the hell up as the Brewmaster split is wearing off.
He didn't have Empower either, Toby, so that Omnislash was very ineffective. That's the strength of Razor right now. He's got 1600 HP, 14 armor. He's tanky. I'm just fearful for him as this game progresses. He's going for a Yules next. Not really the scaling build that we saw Maybe go for in the previous game. More the utility.
He needs to save, right? Be it Stormbolt, be it RP, be it Veil, be it Chain Frost, be it Omnislash. There's so many different things that, like, a Linken's Sphere won't block. He needs something stronger. A BKB can do it, but you also need the movement speed, the regeneration that comes along with the Yules.
And there's a lot you can, if you Yules an RP or the Omnislash, like that is huge. PSG.LGD, they have a very cooldown dependent lineup. And that's what it's the same game as we saw previously. LGD, they want fast fights. They want to be, they just want to hit and hit hard. They're Tyson, they want to knock out. Fnatic, you need time. You want to try and, Yules or Astral, do something to negate that initial damage, abuse your staying power in fights. The OD stealing int, the Brew split, the Razor link, like, let these wear on and do your best to negate the amount of damage that Juggernaut is dealing in Omnislash. He's the real source of DPS for this LGD side.
You actually see the timing play as well that Fnatic are looking at. A Hand of Midas build in for the Brewmaster. You understand they want this game to go late. They just want to keep the defense up.
Ame finishing a Diffusal Blade. We saw Paparazzi just absolutely dominate EG with this item purchase. Does not have the Blink Dagger, but you do have the move speed advantage of the Sanjin Yasha. FY doing a great job so far. Don't know how to track the stats.
Bottom. Brewmaster is bait, however. They want to blink forward onto the Queen of Pain.
Look at
Magnus is right behind him. Way! You have no vision up the hill at all. TPs are coming forward. Meanwhile, over in the main mid lane, MP will be dropped down by the Omnislash, the Juggernaut. He used the Diffusal Blade, so they couldn't get away. Rolling Boulder up at the spin. Too quick. There was an Observable on the hill. He could see it easily coming. Now Jabs finds his own kick and silence on the Lich. Can't get that backline. Chain Frost. Ether Shock will ensure the kill. That is a buffed up Juggernaut. Empowered, he wants the kill on the Earth Spirit, and look at Jab's turnaround. He understands his duty, and duty must be done.
MP just got caught looking, really. He was probably staring bottom, thinking about what's happening down there. Ame with the well-timed R button, easy kill. That's
I auto-passed the bottom lane. Why did I not get there?
Yeah.
But Hand of Midas is done. This OD is getting bigger and bigger. 9.1k net worth obviously will never be as big as the Juggernaut just because of the scaling factor that Magnus provides. But Kaya is completed and he's going for Shiva's Guard next, just amping up survivability with the armor, but also needs to keep the intel growth.
Yep. Hey, Jug is, it's a tough game to read. Really could go either way. I feel like if you're Fnatic, I like that idea, the creativity. Let's think about making this play bottom. PSG.LGD, they're around the map. They're probably not expecting us to be 5. MP gets caught, sure, but had that worked out, if you find a kill under the tier 3, maybe you actually get the tower too, just because of the when you have roster wards in a split, LGD can't engage anymore. They've got to wait.
LGD is still looking for something. They've got a secondary Blink Dagger up now, so one on Magnus, but the newest one's over on Chalice. He got delayed up a little bit because he had to buy the Vlads for his team.
And this is helpful. This is the kind of game I love Magnus in, where you have multiple sources of initiation. Sven is going to blink forwards. You're going to have an Orchid finished up soon on maybe. FY doesn't have much pressure. He can wait, let the fight develop, and then look for a huge counter initiation on 2 or 3 heroes. Fnatic looking for their target. Ice. Push the Drunken Haze in the Juggernaut. He'll spin that off very, very early on. Sven nearby. Brewmaster into the split. Ice wants to force this. It's a great Observer Ward down from X-Nova. They see absolutely everything. Jumping into the back lines. Mass Serpent Ward. Shaman was so quick. The Hex onto Sven, so he never got the stun off. Odie can burn his Eclipse. Queen of Pain into the back lines, finally kills off Shaman, but this never-ending control is over next Nova. Magnus RP, he doesn't actually whip it, never actually used it, and then into the Omnislash, skewering them together, making it 100% more effective. You can feel Fnatic feel so pressured to make things happen. They blow the split and just pursue for so long. Like, Abed blew the hammer to try and Ame for spin, but he has a wand, and I really like that decision here because he recognizes, look, if I can just ensure I never run out of mana for spin, when that is active, I am invincible. There is no real physical damage on the side of Fnatic. And they go right into the pit. They know there's no hammer. They still have RP. How does Fnatic contest this?
You can't. Like, potentially you send Jabs on a suicide mission, but that'll be the only way. So instead, you have Abed push out the bottom lane and just try and make it so LGD at least have to recover their lanes before they can use this. But I'm loving this item up too. A full Orchid now completed on the Queen of Pain. You've now got the silence, and there's no Yule set to build for an OD.
Look at that from Ame too. Like, you can see he recognizes just how valuable spell immunity is in this game. Like, how does Abed actually stop Ame from killing his entire team? Like,
good question. It's a question that I kind of hoped the game was going to answer for us because the panel didn't think it was going to be possible either. We try and keep hope for both sides. But right now, LGD look like they are in firm control as long as this Juggernaut remains the Juggernaut.
Yep, and because of the mag, like, you have plenty of staying. Like, you're going to accelerate. You don't need a Battle Fury on Jug. He's been active this entire game, 4-0 and 2. Ame.
They just saw another one of the aggressive wards being planted down. They can't even keep vision up. Like, you can't get aggressive if you can't see the enemy.
Abed's in trouble.
Yeah, there's support nearby in the form of Shadow Shaman. He goes into the trees, has TP scroll, and will blink away to safety.
And it's just such an easy game for LGD to play. Like, look how aggressive Ame can be. Sure, he has an Invis rune, but he can play him independently, no problem. Up top, Chalice doing the same thing. And as long as FY holds Maybe's hand, he won't die either.
Nice kick and roll away from Jabs. Fresh item in for Fnatic. This will be different for the chase. Brewmaster has completed up a Blink Dagger. So Fnatic have some level of engagement which doesn't require Abed to put himself on the front lines with the Blink Imprisonment. But then again, the only place they could really fight around is going to be their base. This tier 2 tower's days are numbered on bottom. They just push so fast with Juggernaut. It's 100, actually it's 245 damage a pop, not to mention the cleave. And they're coming up. It's a 10-second BKB, and Aegis Juggernaut looking just to wreck through that tier 3 tower. Cleans up the creep wave quickly, and where is the answer? Brewmaster split now needs to be used at some point. They jump in, Earth Spirit, the kickback, the silence, turns on the Magnetize, actually stopping the Queen of Pain from getting the Sonic Wave off, but now they get the burst combination. Brewmaster goes down, a 3-man RP follower, trapping OD inside of Shaman's wards. He actually can break free of it now. Sven on the run out through mid, Magnetize pretty quickly. It's the Razor who had some time to survive. Still it's Yule Scepter revival. They'll jump in, the Shackles holding Chalice in position, and Razor, Omnislash is still available. You know Ame's thinking about it. Guaranteed kill, but the Yule Scepter, less guaranteed. No, it's guaranteed. The duration, he goes long and hard all over him, and down he goes. Fnatic, they got pressured in the base. I thought for a moment they could defend, but nope.
That wasn't even a very well-executed fight from PSG.LGD. They blew a ton of cooldowns to ensure the Brew died before he could get the split off. FY's RP was left wanting. There was no damage follow-up. And like the Omni Slash didn't come out to the very end of the fight. Very good heads-up awareness, though, from Ame. He almost used it on the OD, who had been ward-trapped by his own ally, but recognized my silence is down. It was already used by the Queen of Pain on the Brew. If I ult here, he'll Astral himself, and then I'll be ward-trapped.
So instead he didn't. He survives. But so does the bottom lane of Rax for Fnatic. So LGD back to their farming, but then again, they're happy to accept the status quo. Juggernaut is 5-0-2. Ame is having the time of his life. 17,000 net worth, and Ice. If he doesn't split right now, he's dead. Stormbolt comes in, jabs. He does not want to commit anything. Brewmaster does get the split off. They're killing off the Brewlings, but that's what the Storm Brewlings for. Keep it alive on the back lines, got almost no life. And Ice is playing with fire, keeping it anywhere near the front lines. He has got almost no life, so he just sends the Juggernaut up. But this mid tower is gone.
That was the Brew split. Bounty runes are spawning. You can see up top Jab's making a beeline, but this is really just putting a band-aid on a bullet wound, Toby. You're in big trouble if you're Fnatic, and their chances of winning are slowly bleeding out as PSG.LGD continue to dominate the map. They grab the bottom bounty runes.
This is rough for Fnatic. All 5 heroes inside the base. Brew's finally going back to Fountain to properly regenerate it. Well, they're waiting for LGD to push, but LGD don't need to. Roshan may respawn in 3.5 minutes. So the timer is still counting down. And these team fights will just get stronger and stronger as time goes on. Obviously, you've still got the Aegis more for another 30 seconds, but they're not going to push in that time. So maybe Fnatic do have a window of opportunity. Aegis is gone, but Butterfly is up.
Yep. And just like the previous series had the Arteezy show in that second game, thus far we've been watching the Ame show. He is currently at 19K net worth. The second place, 12.1 on the OD. That is not going to cut it. And again, it really comes down to the total lack of BKB piercing damage on Fnatic. They have nothing to deal with this hero if you don't land a full link. And you can see Ame playing. Even though he's so strong, he had Aegis in that engagement. The moment Razor runs up to link, he's immediately beelining away, because once that spell is down, he has nothing left to fear.
Great scan from Fnatic. They kind of knew where LGD was moving anyway, but they have a blink on the Shaman. They have to get the instant disable onto the Juggernaut if that's the kill they want, but they don't have any targets just yet. The Dire Observer Ward is watching Sven run towards the top lane. They know there's more targets, and they'll find X-Nova. This will be the quickest kill they can get, but he'll get the Chain Frost. It only bounces once with the Hex and the Shackles. There's a lot of abilities committed just to try and kill off the Lich. Intel has been picked up. Magnus, does he want to RP? Yes, he does, just to control the OD. Mass Serpent wants to go. He's got to get these Eclipse off if they're going to have any kind of damage. Defensive imprisonment. He saved his life for the moment while the Juggernaut spinning his way to safety. The Razor moves forward. The Stormbolt. It's a huge stun. That Eclipse. It'll finally drop. The stuns around the Juggernaut. Brewmaster control. The chaos he creates is doing some work. Juggernaut is down for so long. Shaman will be popped up in the backlines thanks to the Queen of Pain, but they just move around. They turn for the Quap. She wanted to kill Secure on one, and maybe one more jump away. Can't get it in time. MP gets a triple kill onto the Razor, and they'll go after Magnus. No skewer available, no life, and given all the damage for an ultra kill on MP. A huge fight for Fnatic.
And honestly, that could have been even better for them, but maybe did some great cleanup on the side. Finished the kills on Rasta and Abed's OD. He had BKB available, but maybe just blinked in with the Scream of Pain and actually finished him off. Otherwise, that could very well be a team wipe for just one hero. FY's RP, he gets it off on Abed, but they aren't finding the kill.
The defensive imprisonment got in time.
Yeah. They're just a little slow. Like, the long fights, as we can see, the moment those cooldowns are expended by PSG.LGD, the BKB wears off. There's no more RP threat. Fnatic always will have that power to pursue.
Now MP gets a lot stronger in the upcoming fights. A 10-second BKB has been purchased by him. He doesn't, like, he's on his way to the SMY as well.
This next Rosh is everything. 43 seconds, we may see it spawn up, guaranteed, in a bit more than 3.5. Abed.
Did Fnatic just get themselves back in this game? Or do they still have that huge problem? It's still a Juggernaut who is a beast.
It's Juggernaut. Again, it's all about make these fights last a long time. Negate the Omni Slash, negate the RP. Don't get bursted down. Don't get picked off at the start of this engagement. You got to be careful. There's a ward.
There's a lot of pings coming in as well, though. They know
see them.
They're putting the sentry ward down. They think that's where they got the vision. Juggernaut walks in.
Oh, big silence.
They got the static link as well. Juggernaut's losing all this damage. They kill him up. No, the Omni Slash. He'll get off. And the Sonic Wave. Brewmaster's already down, but the Omni Slash heavily weighted. Abed's BKB protecting him from the spin of at least Ame for the moment. DJ's on the run. RP is dropped. Shaman, Razor, both down. That's what they wanted to try and now break the base. Spirit will live. OD will live. Brew has buyback. But without the Eclipse, Fnatic still wanted to go into that fight.
Yeah, it was a great play from PSG.LGD, though. They smoke as the RP and the Omni Slash come up. Hammer has a 40-second difference in the length of the cooldown. So there's no Hammer, but PSG.LGD, they're ready to fight. They had everything, and Abed is sitting there holding his staff, but he can't actually contribute like he wants to. That fight is going to give LGD a Rax.
It will.
Roche
but they won't want to get
20.
more. Yeah, Roshan's up so quickly. They're going for more, however. Shaman's up in 8 seconds' time. Fnatic need to delay this. The Cinder Brew isn't enough to really stop them. And yeah, they're going to take 2 lanes of melee racks. And then back up. There's an Observe Ward watching the movement of Fnatic. So LGD even know how much they can get away with. If that doesn't get dewarded and Fnatic tries to come out and contest Roshan, that's even more problems.
And they also clean up the 4 bounty runes as well. Just excellent fight timing by PSG.LGD. This is why they were the 2nd place TI. This is why they've been the best team in China for going on almost, what, 2 years now? Just great awareness. Like, the cooldown disparity. That's why they can make this play. And you saw, you target the Jug, but he gets Omni Slash off. He kills almost half of the Fnatic team without even needing to lift a finger.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Like, You've got Raiders like, oh, well, I can static link you at the very beginning, but Empower buff up, Juggernaut still hits hard. But Roshan has spawned. You have no RP for 30 seconds. Omni Slash is now come back up. Sonic Wave's down for the moment, but the fight will drag on long enough that LGD knows they'll get their big abilities available. And Queen of Pain looks too juicy in mid, but this is not really the fight they want to have. Blink in, Hex, Shackles, they got to kill him quickly. Quick 4-staff down, but BKB is ready for the Queen of Pain. Who does she want? Puts on the Veil, all the amplification. Charles still on the run. Abed's been boosting up the intel, but while the BKB is over on Maybe, he finds more kills. ES has to buy back. A smoke in the back lines. Razor, ready to fight, has BKB available. Spin's already been used by the Juggernaut, has the Omni Slash available. They got to send up as well on Sven. He's not ready to fight in this one. Ice in trouble. Omni Slash starts to work, and MP isolated. A solo Omni and the Eclipse. I can see straight through that. OD, he'll get RP down, and this should actually be him falling for 65 seconds. Buybacks are available, but who are you going to save? Jams with a kickback. Cinder Brews are being more of a nuisance than anything else. The Rolling Boulder he couldn't use to get away. Sven blocks him perfectly with the Storm Bolt and Cleave follow-up. Fnatic are in issues. And do they, well, yeah, turn around LGD. Roshan is ready for the killing.
An excellent play thus far from Ame. Like his target selection, understanding when and when he should not use the Omni Slash. He gets a lot of criticism because the rest of his team, like they've just been legends for so long that usually he'll get the flack for poor performances, but so far he is on, and they look ready to close this game out. They're going to take the second Roche. I mean, what more? You have a 6-slotted Jug. All of a sudden, you've got a Linken's. No longer can you link him, static link.
Yep.
There's nothing. He fears nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Shaman can't jump on him either. Like it's the Blink Hex, which is kind of what's catching out the Juggernaut, but this isn't available. He will guarantee get that BKB off every single engagement, every initiation that Fnatic wants to go on him.
And great job from Chalice as well. He's the unsung hero so far this game. Look at the itemization. 4-staff Lotus Orb. You don't typically see this on a Sven. We saw Ice buy an Ag, so he's actually queuing up that now, but that initiation doesn't work because he's getting the Lotus off on the target before the follow-up grip from DJ's Rasta. If you have a Lotus Orb, you can't actually continue that CC train after the Hex. The 4-staff ensures that Abed won't be able to pump the damage in.
Brewmaster split in 5 seconds. Eclipse is down for a while. So was the Mass Serpent Wars, but a long-range shackle on the Juggernaut. Remember, static link. He's getting all that extra damage. RP, they're looking for a target. Actually, there's no RP available either. OD Imprisonment trying to save Ice, but the Storm Bolt canceling him, so he cannot get the Brewmaster split off. DJ even got clipped by the Sonic Wave, reeling from the scream.
No buyback either, Toby.
That is true. Defense time. Mass Serpents will have to be very, very defensive. The stun's already on OD. Jabs, Spirit, he goes in. That's a good, well, I say, no, it's not. It doesn't do jack. They war cry up. There's so much life available. RP to control up the Razor. Shaman's having his own little battle with the Queen of Pain, but this game is over. GG, well played. LGD advance through into the next round. The furthest they've gotten the major during this DPC, but they go up against the team next that knocked them out of the last one, Evil Geniuses.
I mean, you're talking about a hype matchup. The pride of NA versus the pride of China. Winner goes on to play on Championship Sunday. Loser goes home. Oof.
You couldn't ask for anything more. This major has just spoiled us rotten with so many great games through both the first two series today. It's a good thing these teams get themselves a half-an-hour break before they go into the big deciding matchup, because LGD, they look good. All the top four look absolutely fantastic. And I think, again, we're looking at a very similar top four. Three of the top teams from the last major, and LGD, they are the new contender.
Surprising it took him, I mean, it's only the second major, but you'd still say surprising it took him this long. Yeah, it's well thought out. Shout out to Maybe. You know, what a terrible start. You're getting dual laned against constantly. You've got like 1 or 2 CS. Yeah. He got himself involved in the game. He ensured that he would have impact bottom lane. Ame still free farming top.
Yep.
Just well played all around. Xnova 3-2 and 20. You know, the supports, the 3-4-5 specifically at PSG.LGD, and really going into this next matchup, that's what I think the key is going to be. Everyone knows these core players are great, but whose team is going to do the best job of activating them and ensuring that they have those survivability tools they can't buy themselves?
Definitely looks like LGD knows how to activate their big cores, and they will have a small break going into the next series. But before we get there, panel, does LGD have enough to keep China's hopes alive here in the major?